What's up, everybody? Show y'all this video today of how I'm gonna bull horns off of a Longhorn. Had a guy call me last week. Had one of his Longhorns that he raises passed away unexpectedly, and he wanted me to do a skull mount on it. Told him, yeah. I actually drove out there, and he didn't want to remove the head himself. I can understand why. So I drove out to his place and helped him, or I didn't help him. I removed the head for him and brought it back to my house. I planned on trying to sweat the horns off. I gave that a try for about 4 or 5 days, and I don't have a lot of patience, and it wasn't working. So I decided I'm gonna bull them off. Let me turn the camera around here and I'll show you. So that is the Longhorn right there. It's 81 inches from tip to tip, and the horns themselves are about 37 inches each. So the day we got it in, I went ahead and skinned it. As you can see, it's drying out pretty good. And I've dealt with animals that have been skinned and start to dry out before, and they're not easy to do a European mount on. That flesh kind of turns into concrete, and it can also, with my experience, can kind of stain the bone, and it makes it kind of hard to whiten it. I was hoping the horns would sweat off quicker. They didn't, so that's why I'm going to bull them off and get them off. So I went to local farm and garden store and got this 4 foot long, 2 foot wide by 1 foot tall water trough, and one of the horns barely fits in there. So I'm going to try to get it balanced really well on those two burners there. Actually, not one of those, and then one that's hanging up there. And then get it full of water and heat it up, and then get it to a boil and put one of the horns in there. If I can get one off, and then spin it around and get the other off. One thing I'm worried about is they put some kind of silicone on that joint right there, and then around the bottom. I hope that silicone doesn't start liquefying or something whenever the water gets up to a boil. If that happens, obviously it's not going to work, because it could discolor the horns and the skull. So we'll see what happens with that. Back to the skull. So once I get both the horns removed, my plan is that I'm going to cut off the horn cores a little bit, and then I'm going to submerge that skull in water and rehydrate it for a week or two at least, and get all that skin that's still left on it, get water back into it and get it rehydrated, and then it will, when I go to boil it, it will boil much easier that way and much quicker. So that's the plan with that. So I'm going to get this trough set up, and then once I get it set up and going, I'll show y'all what it looks like. All right, everybody, here's what we got. I got those 2 burners up underneath there. I put 2 jack stands on each side. They're not really touching. Once I fill it up with water, it may get down there where it's actually touching them, but I mean, all in all, it's really sturdy. It's not really moving at all. I think once it gets a little water in it, it'll get even more sturdy. So we're gonna fill it up, see what it looks like, and then we'll go from there. Now we wait. It's filled up, as you can see back there. I got 2 burners underneath it. We'll see how long it takes before we start boiling. Alright, we're getting there. We're at about 40 minutes. You see smoke coming off of it. It's not boiling yet, but we're getting close. Alright guys, well, sad news on the first horn. After trying about 8 times, I had my wife come out here and help me, and I forgot to hit the record button on the camera, so got the first one off. It's been boiling for almost an hour and a half. That core, that's the rest of the core. That core went all the way to the very end of that horn, and it was tough. You can see this, I don't know if that's a tendon or what that is, between the horn and the horn core, but we got one off. I'm gonna try to make sure I get the video camera going for the next one. I kind of starting to lose hope, and finally got it to budge. There's the horn right there. So on these time lapses, it just shows me actually working on the head. It doesn't show the time it spent in the pot. I pulled each horn out probably 6 or 8 times and worked on it, put it back in, pulled it out, worked on it until they finally would budge. So each one was about an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
All right guys, so I started filling that trough up at 440, and it is now 9:15. So going on what? I can't even think. 5 hours maybe. I still have a bunch of cleaning up out here to do. I gotta deal with that massive thing, get all the water out of it, clean it up, power wash it. I got the head right there in that bucket, or I'm sorry, that Rubbermaid. I'm gonna fill that up with water and let it soak for a while, and then get everything cleaned up. That definitely was a lot harder than I thought it would be. I hope the video captured it. I was trying my best, but I hope y'all liked it. Hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it.